Welcome to PNW Prop Stars, the only Seahawks only gambling show in the multiverse. I'm your host, Clinton Bonner, and I am joined by two wonderful gentlemen. I've got to give some props to the man who's doing this on the road. I think he's in Oklahoma or one of those states. Adam, how you doing, bud? How's life at the mill this morning?
Oh, it's fantastic. Nothing like having people that have no idea what they're talking about tell you how to do things. It's been a great morning. I'm having a great day. And I'm sure it won't carry over to any of my terrible bets, which I haven't made any good bets this year. And I'm falling behind hopelessly. Going to try to change that. Wilson, will you quit kicking my ass like so hard? Like this it hurts.
Wilson, over to you, bud. Can you hear Wilson? Are you there? Can you hear us? Wilson?
Yeah, I just had nothing to add. I just had nothing to add to it. I mean, he's right. I am kicking his ass. So
yeah.
Okay. Sometimes the pregnant pause is very effective, right? Just so less is more there. So he let the words hang. That Wilson's got 2 dubs on the year. And we'll find out who won last week in just a hot minute. But Adam, like we said as we got going, the birds are chirping. It does at least it sounds lovely by the mill. You're amongst nature. Wilson, you're up there in Princeton, my guy. We're heading into week 4. How's college life? How are you? And how's your Hawker, bud?
college is going pretty well. My Hawker's through the roof, Clinton. There's not much else that could be done to raise it except perhaps another Prop Stars win this week.
Nice. Okay. Well, that won't happen, but that's okay. We'll take a Seahawks victory on Monday night. We're going to cover that game, of course. For those that don't know, PNW Prop Stars, like we said, the only gambling show out there that just focuses on the Seahawks. We're going to take you through 4 different bets. Bet 1, bet 2, bet 3, $10 a pop. Bet anything on the board you want. The 4th bet, we call it the Fail Mary, the $1 Sunday Scratcher, the Sunday Rubber, and that has to be plus 1,200 or longer odds. We play the game. We keep track every single week. We crown a champion. Adam, before we do those things, what should people do if they want to be involved with anything going on with the Seahawkers podcast?
Turn this off. Never pay attention to it again, and forget about it. That's what you do. Or you can subscribe. Either way.
I love it. Yes. Either one is okay by us. I prefer if you do hit the subscribe, hit the likes, and if you're getting lots of value from the shows we put out there every single week, which is now 6 shows a week, get intheflock.com, become a member for a few bucks a month, hang out in the Discord and have a lot of fun. We're going to have some fun. So boys, let me put this up on screen. I kind of already said this, which is A-okay. And let me just get rid of the branding. Usually Brandon does this stuff. So, we got to make our way in the world here. And as we're going, 1 second, boys, there it is. Okay. So we already talked about this. Please do subscribe. Helps out a ton. Guys, I'm going to coin this one after looking at the bets that flew in. Is this going to be a giant Geno day? And as we set this up, a couple things I want to bring to everybody's attention that are just some net new things. Well, in general, Detroit plays the 4th most man coverage in the league so far this year in 2023. And in combination, Aiden Hutchinson's really the only dude who's getting any sort of pressure at all. So it kind of boils down to, can Geno stay clean? Can the Lions generate pass rush outside of Aiden Hutchinson? And if those things do bubble up, they got some sus DBs and such I think we're going to explore today as well. And again, we send our picks in. So I make my picks first, put them in a sheet. Then the boys put theirs in, and we don't know we're going to, fire off to each other. So as of last week, by the way, just throw this up on screen. It's my first dub of the year. The PNW Prop Star champion is me. I went 2 out of 3 again, created the graphic for everybody to see which ones were there. A little crown on me this week. My favorite one, my most confident one was definitely Skylar, that he just was not going to complete a pass that long, and that wasn't even close. But the one I really was the most confident in was that Geno Smith would get over those completions. I think he had 26 last week, and the week before was 33. So I like that Geno is just racking up the completions. Adam, you have a big goose egg this year so far. What's your plan heading into this week to get off the schneid bet?
Well, I've been trying to go for some slightly bigger odds on all 3 of my main bets and kind of eschewed the strategy that worked so well for me last year in my season-long championship campaign. So kind of going to go back to that here and maybe get a little more conservative out of the gate here.
All right. And speaking of in and out, hey, hop out, hop back in. The mic's doing its thing. We'll see you in 2 seconds. Okay. He did this the other day as well. Oh, okay. So look, this is how this works. I'm up on first down because I won the week. First time on the tee box in a while. I didn't win down the stretch last year. Wilson, I barely know what to do here. I'm shaking in my booth as I do get on stage. But I got one here. Adam, you're going to see this. And since I know your picks because you sent it to me as well, you'll probably be shaking your head a bit, but we were on the same wavelength, my man. My first bet out of the gate, I'm going Julian Love over 4.5 solo tackles at -120. I don't mind having to pay for this a little bit. I'll leave some meat on the bone for Adam, but the math is the math here. He has 19 solo tackles on the year. That equates to 6.3 per game. That's more than 4.5. Lions going to put the ball in the air. Lions going to run the ball a lot, and Julian Love will be coming down into the box. I think getting these tackles. Adam, you're up in a bit, and I know you got to. I know you have the same exact one. So we'll get rid of the suspense. So I'd say save your take for now. Wilson, what do you think, dude? Does Julian Love just continue being a tackle machine?
Yeah, I really wish I'd seen this one when I was making my picks, because then we could have gone 3 for 3 here on first down. All of us would have hit, because this feels pretty certain to me.
Me as well. And again, Adam, we'll tag you back in because, again, I know you got the same pick. So let's hop on over to bet one for you, Wilson. You're second. Where you going, dude?
Well, I've been still a little bit suspicious of the rush defense recently, even with the decent performance last week against A-Chain. It was a weird game. Obviously, when Tim Boyle gets in there, that definitely throws off the offense. So I'm going to take Montgomery over 70 yards this week, or 70 plus, technically. So if he got 70, it would hit.
Yep.
He's hit 90 in 2 of the first 3 games. I think this is the Seahawks' really first test against a real NFL offense, with all due respect to Skylar Thompson, Jacoby Brissett, and Bo Nix. So I suspect that Montgomery, with the kind of volume that I expect him to get, probably 15 or 16 carries, should hit this number. Again, not something that I want to do, but given how good the pass defense has been, this feels like a better direction to go in on first down.
Well, Adam, I'll toss it to you. Besides it being clearly treasonous, what other thoughts might you have?
Hey, man, I didn't realize we had Benedict Arnold on the podcast, but that's fine. Look, I actually kind of think the opposite here when it comes to Montgomery in the run defense, and I kind of get that in my third bet of the day. But look, I can understand after watching the Patriots run wild all over this defense, and the idea that Leo and Byron Murphy are out. I could see why somebody would want to be invested in a good Montgomery day, but I don't know. I guess we'll see. I don't have a lot of faith in the Lions offensive line at this point, with a couple of the I think it was the center and one of their guards is injured, or maybe it was one of their tackles. So we'll see. But also too, I do like Mike's plan against the run as a whole, and maybe we see more Hankins, which means, a little bit stiffer resistance up front.
Yeah, we're probably down 2 of our dudes. We don't know for sure yet with Murphy and Leo. We'll find out about that. And the center is Ragnow. And I was listening to Frank Ragnow. I was listening to Bootleg Football last night. They covered the top 5 games of the week. And EJ Snyder pulled some stats from Nate Tyson. I'll read them to you here. With or without Ragnow, 2023 Detroit, they were 3rd in yards per play. They were 4th in success rate. They were tied for 2nd for EPA per play. Without Ragnow last year, that respectively in those categories, 13th, 29th, and 27th. So a very, very different unit without their center, and he's gone for a bit. So just interesting. That's where I think the risk is. I do think Montgomery will get the touches, and it does concern me too. So, all right, well, Mr. Adam, over to you, dude. There's no suspense here. We already said it, but what were you thinking about when you also took a little Mr. Love for your get out of the gate?
Okay, so Leo and Murphy obviously both out, and so I do believe that that means that linebackers and safeties are probably going to have a few more opportunities for tackles in the run game. And then secondly, you brought up the total number of solo tackles that Julian has had, but if you look at it, the fewest tackles in terms of solo tackles he's had this season is 4. So he's had 6 and 13 in his other 2 games. I think that it's more likely than not that he ends up cracking that 4.5 and minus 120. Not the most amazing odds, but need to just get one on the board, man. And I'm a little bummed that you stole this.
Well, I felt similarly when you texted me that. I was like, oh man, he's at least we're on the same wave there. I love the fact that, like, yeah, I said the average is 6.3. Doesn't really matter because one game you could have 10 and excuse a sample size of 3. Your point, I think, more astute, that even the floor so far was 4. Wilson, of course, you already chimed in on this one, so we get it. You're jealous. 2 out of 3, we understand. So, but Wilson, you are now bet 2. Where are you leading us out, dude?
Well, I'm sure everyone will be relieved that I'm taking it back to Seahawks success here on second down. Every time we play the Lions, it seems to be a bit of a shootout. And obviously, it's a very different team now for the Seahawks. In many ways, I'm thankful for that. I don't expect us to give up 40-something points. But I think Geno is going to show out in this game, especially in the pass game we mentioned with the suspect Lions secondary. So I've got him at 2+ pass TDs. I would have liked the number to be a little bit higher because he actually has not had a multiple pass TD game yet this season. He's had 1 in each game. But I think the time is now, again, 105. I would love like a 130 there, but I'll take it here because I really think the Seahawks pass offense is going to find a lot of success in this game. And I'll get to that on my Fail Mary as well.
Little teaser there, little teaser. So, Adam, yes, Geno has 3 games, only 3 touchdowns so far, 1 per game. Not exactly firing on every cylinder from an offensive perspective, but Geno really likes Ford Field. He likes playing in domes. What do you think about the Princetonians' bet here, my man?
I looked hard at this, and the only reason I couldn't get there is just because TDs are just so volatile as a whole. And Geno, like you said, hasn't been having multiple touchdown games here to this point. Now, could it happen in this game, and does the pass kind of point to that? Sure. I don't know. I just couldn't quite get there, but I see the logic, and I don't think it's a bad bet at all. And it has a likelihood to hit.
The thing for me that I like about it a lot too, besides the fact that the things we said, right, that there have been shootouts at Detroit. He tends to play well inside domes, seems to really love Ford Field, and so does Lockett. And also, like, I just think the regression to the mean type thing is like he's gonna get some of these games where he gets 2, 3, 4 touchdowns because he's not going to end the season, barring injury, with 17 touchdowns. He's just not. Even last year, which was a down year, he got to 20. The year previous, he was at 30. So I'm not saying split the difference, not exactly how math works, but there's going to be some games where he gets multiple touchdowns. This one feels like a good one to me. So, Wilson, I dig it a ton. All right, Adam, you're up on your second down bet. Where are you taking us, bud?
Well, going to go with a low risk, low upside parlay here. Just an easy peasy Geno getting himself 200+ passing yards. I think that's a slam dunk. And then kind of doing the thing where you pick the receiver to have the game. And I've just been kind of rotating through as each receiver seems to have his day. JSN and DK have a big day week 1. Tyler has a big day week 2. And I don't know. I feel like it's JSN's turn again. 40+ yards doesn't seem like a ton. And I don't particularly care for the DBs, especially the nickel corner for Detroit. I think JSN's going to have himself a day.
I love the logic here. I don't love the minus 190. It feels like you're playing a little scared, and maybe admittedly so. You're like, I need to get on the board here. So if you're betting $10, you're scratching a little bit like 560 or 580. That part just, it doesn't feel like too much. Maybe there was some other math you could have juiced it a bit more, but I think it hits. But so does Vegas. Wilson, what do you think?
Yeah, I think I've got the same thoughts on it as you, Clinton. It probably hits. The tough thing with these minus bets is if you hit one, even if you hit 2 of them, if you miss that third down bet, you're ending up with like $4 on the week. So there's a bit of a risk with that. But yeah, I think it probably hits.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how it all goes too. And the JSN part, I think, Adam, I think you're spot on there. And the reason being is Detroit. We talked about this on the Seahawkers What If show with Mr. Phil, and we talked about the stats there. Detroit's been okay at covering, wide receiver ones, like pretty good, like 12th or something like that. Whatever, okay, pretty good. But they've been bad, downright bad at covering wide receiver twos and wide receiver threes. So I think you're right. I think JSN's going to eat. It's just tough because it just seems like every week it's 2 out of 3 dudes, 2 out of 3 dudes. And that's just, it could drive you nuts as like a fantasy player or trying to gamble on it. But as a Seahawks fan, it's kind of delightful because they got to defend 3 dudes. All right, that brings me to my bet number 3. I'll pull it on screen here now. Look, guys, if it ain't broke, I think you know how the rest of this goes. Don't fix it. Last week I won this at minus 130, and now they make it a tiny smidgen better at minus 128. For those that are not watching on YouTube, just listening on audio, you're like, get to it already, dude. Geno Smith, over 21.5 completions. He's gone 2 out of 3 so far on the year. He had 30-something versus the Pats. He had 26 last week versus Miami. And versus Denver, it was only 18. But again, that first half was dreadful. So he had 26 against the Dolphins, and half the game was bad. So I would expect a bit more of fluidity and continuity, so we don't just get these quarters where we're going like, what just happened? Why did that quarter exist? And I think this hits pretty easily again. And I got a reason I could talk myself out of it for a second, but I won't do that. Adam, do you think Geno gets to 22 completions or more?
I do, just given the history of this matchup, and then also not knowing whether Charbonnet or K9 is going to be the starting running back here.
Yeah.
I had a hard time betting on anything running, just not knowing K9's status. He's, been limited in practice. Does that mean he's going to play? I don't know. Mike McDonald's not telling us jack either. So if you're going to bet on this team going with the passing game, fine. And completions, again, like you're not needing him to push the ball way downfield. You can get a bunch of dump offs, and that really does help fill up the cup on this one. So yeah, no, I like it just fine.
All right, thank you. I feel good. Look, the crown feels good today, nice and light. I feel like I'm jockeying for a repeat here. Wilson, I know you got some Geno love coming up. What do you think, dude? Is he getting to 22 because of that?
Yeah, I think so. I think this is pretty much solid lock.
Okay, awesome. Oh, so we got Divine Comedy asking out there. Yeah, man, we're live. Go right ahead. He's asking, do we take questions? Fire away. Why not? It's that's part of being live, and it's a lot of fun. And hey, it's Saturday morning, very early afternoon for me and Wilson. Still in the AM for Adam, and probably most people who are going to see this, it might be breakfast time. So ask away, fire away. We'll have some fun with it. Put those in the comments. We'll read them as we go. In the meantime, Adam, that means you're up on third down. Where are you going on your third down bet?
Okay, not going all the way up to a Wilson 300 here, but wanted to get on the plus side of things because of some of the things you guys mentioned.
Hey, Adam, why don't you cut out real quick? Come right back in. We'll stall. Awesome. And for the folks out there, hey, he's on the road. We're doing it live. So deal with it. What else can we say, right? He'll be right back in. A really good time to like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Seahawkers podcast. And like we mentioned earlier, getintheflock.com, become a member, hang out on Facebook, hang out on the Discord, and be amongst 12s. He is back. All right, Adam, take it away.
Okay, a mild plus bet here with another parlay. So Seahawks +6. So you're getting 6 points, and I think the Seahawks can easily win this game. So that should be easy. And then under 6.5 rushing yards for David Montgomery. That's right on his where Vegas kind of thinks that's right where the line is. I'm never going to bet on a opponent's running back or any of their players to succeed. So I'm voting for him and betting on him to go under here. I don't have anything but just being hooked on a feeling, and that gets me to plus 138. And we'll see how it goes. I know you guys were killing my minus bets earlier, but sure, if you hit on those and you only make $4 and you don't hit on third down, fine. But I haven't been hitting on any of them with all my plus bets, and then you're negative $31, which is even worse. So just trying to at least reduce the hemorrhaging and reduce the bleeding here.
Yeah, I've bled $31 on this show before, or Lord knows that. And last week I won with hitting 2 negative bets. I think it was 2 negative bets. So, so it can be done, right? So I like to stack a couple of those as well. The fearful part for me here, Wilson, is that in the last 3 matchups, these two teams have combined, I think, for it's something astronomical. It's like 30 plus touchdowns, like 33 or 34 touchdowns combined in 3 games. They have been shootouts, different defenses, but I know that number seems huge, but of the
No,
two,
no, it's Montgomery to have under 65.5 rushing yards. Nothing to do with
is it?
points.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not.
yeah.
Oh, all right. My bad, guys. So, I did this in the car last night, waiting for my kid to get done with martial arts. So if that's that, I'm way off. Wilson, how do you feel about the actual bets?
I strongly disagree on the Montgomery number, as I've expressed earlier in the show. But may the best man win.
Yeah, my bad. I misread that, and it was from a text, and I threw it in here. So okay, that does make more sense though. So I'll take the L on that one. The +6 part, I think this is a close game, and in fact, I think we're going to win. But okay, at +138, we'll see how it all flows, my man. All right, so Wilson, I think that means, oh no, maybe I'm up right now. I think I'm up on the next one on third down. Yes, I'm up on third down. Same odds, by the way, which is interesting. Put these two together. So Wilson, you can notice I liked Geno to get to two touchdowns. You had that earlier at +105. I gave it this little sidecar of 225 yards or more, and I was able to move it from 105 to 138. What do you think about that that +33 swing? Is it worth the squeeze in your opinion?
Yes, I'm stupid. I should have done that.
He likes the little side. It's like getting a beer and a shot, right? I had to move it a little
Mhm.
bit. So, Adam, I know the two touchdown part is you said your piece earlier, but the 225, you think that's pretty much in range and a smash?
It's in range. I'm not sure that it's a smash. Just with passing yards being down as a whole, with the
Yeah.
Lions being an offense that does seem to really control the ball and stay on the field quite a bit. I just don't know how many possessions the Seahawks are going to get. So 225, it makes me just a little bit nervous. But look, man, it's as good a bet as any. I'd stack it up against any of mine this week.
I was trying to find at first I was kind of manipulating 200 yards and I was like, it's not doing anything. It was like from 105 to like 109 or 108. I'm like, well, that's dumb because now I'm putting a variable on there that doesn't provide really any upside. So I moved it up a smidgen. I had it at 250 and that was like into the 190s. And then I kind of backed it off and said, okay, +138's enough if this were to hit. But I'm with you. My biggest fear for the completions bet I'm laying out there, and then this bet is that Montgomery, they chew clock, that they do what they do, and they try to do what they did last week against the Cardinals, which was run the ball 40 times, the running backs. And then the Ragnow stuff hit, and I kind of moved closer to a bigger Geno day because basically more time of possession for us is how I looked at it. All right, so Adam, nope, that would be Wilson. I think you're up on your third down bet, my man. Go ahead.
Well, I did pretty well with my game line and over/under parlay last week, so I brought it back. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, and I think the Seahawks will win. And if they don't, I've got a little bit of coverage here. I think 3.5 is plenty. I made a mistake. It's actually 262. I left in the 248 from my parlay last week, so that's my bad. But just for the record, when this hits and it contributes to my win, I will let it be known that it's a 262. So yeah, I think it's going to be high scoring enough. And yeah, 3.5 felt pretty safe to me.
It does feel pretty safe. They've been playing some close games, and things have been moving. The Vegas line, the money's been moving towards Seattle kind of all week. Came down a full point, started at 4.5, went down to 3.5. And I think that Ragnow news really helped move it a bit as well. Adam, this is a straight up old fashioned parlay. You take the points, you bet on the over under, but it's giving you quite a bit of squeeze here. What do you think of Wilson's, the Princetonian, laying a parlay on us? And what do you think?
Love the odds. I do like Seattle +3.5. I actually think Seahawks win this football game. It's the over 46 points. Now, look, one of the things about the NFL is that every time we think we got something figured out, it zags real hard. And we're all looking at the last couple of matchups with Detroit and being like, oh, this is going to be our barn burner. They score a zillion points every single time. And there's just something in my gut, way down in the, Hawker Spidey senses here, that's telling me that this is going to end up being like some stupid slobber knocker that, like, the 17-10 or something. We're all going, what happened? And yeah, so it's the over 46 points that makes me a little nervous, just because I have a hard time believing, like, for the third or fourth time in a row, it's going to be another shootout.
So Wilson, I heard Adam and Brandon on their pick show, and I think Adam, you had gone with like 38 points or something like that, or maybe even lower. Maybe it was 28 points, and kind of took Brandon aback. Wilson, what's your argument that this hits over 46, and is it more than, well, it's been happening of late?
It's not more than that.
Fair enough, right? So love it. Hey, if that's nice and concise, it's just that these teams have been successful against each other. They do open it up, and I know they're different. I get that both defenses have improved in the last calendar year, but have they improved that much when we were getting into the 60s quite often with this matchup, even the 70s? I guess we're going to see. All right, we are back to the tee box for me. It is the Fail Mary, which again is the Sunday rubber. The $1 bet must be plus 1,200 or longer odds. If you're watching live and you want to throw some Hail Marys in there, or just bets that you think are great, throw them in the queue. We'll put them on screen. I'm up first. Guys, the way I look at this is, if I can bet that 2 out of the 3 Seahawks wide receivers will have at least a decent to good day, I don't mind that. So I was able to find this, and for me, getting to plus 1,200 on this is like, all right, sometimes you take a Fail Mary, like, all right, that's a bit of a long shot. By nature, it's meant to be. DK over 4.5 receptions, so 5 or more receptions, and then JSN with 6 or more receptions, and he needs 100 yards. So basically, I need Patriots pot 2 for this to hit. But if Patriots pot 2 hits, I'm rigging plus 1,223. If I got to lay some wood somewhere against this defense, I don't mind it being 2 out of our 3 wide receivers. Adam, what's your take?
I really struggled to find a Fail Mary this week, and this is as good as any that I came across. And look, if you're going to bet on something, bet on the pass game having a big day. I like it.
Okay. Wilson, shot-wise, obviously the odds are what they are. Are they forever in our favor here? What do you think?
I think so, and I'm also going in a DK direction with my Fail Mary, so I'm on board with this.
Careful. We'll tease that, and you're up, so why don't you take it away?
Yeah, so DK has been a deep threat the last couple weeks, 56-yarder against the Pats and then 71 against the Dolphins last week. So I like him to take the top off of this defense again with hopefully another long touchdown this week. Then he'll need another touchdown of another kind for my bet to hit. I was looking at this. You could get him scoring the first touchdown for 1,200 or 2+ for 1,200. I hate having a bet like that for first TD where you can just get burned early and then it's no fun the rest of the game. So I decided to go for this one instead on a coin flip and take the 2+ TDs. He's been on fire the last couple games. So
he has. We call it the Sunday scratcher for a reason, because it's like the long play, scratch off bingo card. You don't want to be like, okay, I'm done. Let it play out. Let's see the whole game and see what happens, because you never know. Game can go to overtime, then he's the hero in OT, and all of a sudden you're hitting your Fail Mary, which is nice. With that, there's been opportunities for DK to have 2+ touchdowns in a couple of games. What's been preventing that, in my opinion, has been not strong enough guard play, and not always the guard, but not strong enough pass protection for the deeper stuff to evolve. But he's been open a couple of times where Geno just could not uncork it, didn't have time to step up into a pocket because there was no pocket. So if they improve that a bit, DK's been getting open. Grubb has been scheming him open. So as Fail Marys go, hey, I kind of like the toss downfield. And Adam, I'd imagine if we do get 2 DK touchdowns, that'd be okay in your book too.
Oh, yeah, I'd be thrilled about it. And look, of all the receivers, DK has been the most consistent in terms of production. I think it's a great bet for plus 1,200. I like both your bets way better than mine.
Well, let's get to yours. And it is a bit more of the risque. However, we got a dude who at least returns the ball with chutzpah. So talk about it.
Yeah, it just didn't fall in love with anything that I was looking at. and we haven't seen a big kickoff return play in any of the Seahawks games yet. One that you really get excited about. And I don't even have to have a Seahawk do this. Like, it can be a Detroit Lion as well. And I even get a little extra juice on a giant fail Mary here at plus 17.
Wilson, now who's the treasonist here, right? He's talking about Lions
Hey,
returning kickoff.
I'm saying we can too.
Hey, I think D. Williams has looked pretty solid this year, and I could see him breaking one.
The only part for me hey, it's a dollar, so I'm not going to go too deep here. It's just that the quote unquote heavily air quote dynamic kickoff has proven to be a bit of a dud in general. However, D has been good, man. D, especially after the first week and a half or so, D's been he himself when he does get a chance to return it, pretty dynamic. Hey, it's a dollar. It's worth the shot there. So again, anybody that's watching live, you want to throw yours in, go right ahead and throw them in. I did have a little extra time since we're recording this or doing it live today that I was able to put these all together and put them on board. I'll post this in the Discord. We'll have it tweeted out as well. And folks, let us know, of course, what are you thinking about? What do you think what's your favorite bet of the week? And one thing I've been doing is putting a couple of our bets and throwing them out to YouTube, because now you can post out there. So if you see out there, we put 3 different bets and put a poll out and said, which one's your favorite? We can review that next week and see what like the favorite flocker bet of the week is. So Adam, what's I know it was a Friday, Saturday thing as opposed to Saturday, Sunday. So as much as that wasn't your favorite thing, are you now free to go watch the game as you want to tomorrow?
I'm not going to watch a game tomorrow because it's Sunday.
Right. Correct. Right.
Yeah. But I'm hoping to watch it Monday night. We'll see. We'll see if some dumbasses that work in an office that think they know better than the people that I don't know do the job actually let me do my job so I can get the freak out of freaking Oklahoma. Like, we'll see. I don't know.
Well, we hope for your sake that you do get out of Oklahoma safe and sound and back on up. You driving or playing? What'd you do? You're on a plane, yeah?
We got to drive 3 hours back to Little Rock and then fly back.
So. Okay. Well, everything goes through Little Rock. Everybody knows that. Wilson, have you ever been through Little Rock, Arkansas?
I actually have. I was there very briefly summer before junior year. So yes, a lovely little hamlet.
I heard they had nice fountains. I've heard about their fountains. Is this a true thing? Did you observe fountains when you were there?
I didn't spot any myself, but I didn't see any ugly fountains. I'll put it that way.
Love it, dudes. All right, so we get the extra day. Everybody enjoy tomorrow. Enjoy a relaxing NFL Sunday. Do whatever you're going to do. And, just get ready for a great Monday Night Football game. This is going to be fun. What I like about it, guys, is that the entire NFL and the media seems to be geared up with this is our test. And you know what? Let's embrace that. Let's embrace the fact that everybody's saying 3-0 doesn't really matter yet. Yet all of a sudden we're showing up in the top 5 of power polls. So it's this interesting thing where people are like, well, 3-0 doesn't matter, but they're the 5th best team in the league. That sure is interesting to me. We'll see how it all shakes out. Anything else before we get out of here? Wilson, for you.
No, I think there's only left. There's only one thing left to say.
Yeah, go Hawks.
All right, go Hawks. Hey, boys, have fun. Go Hawks. We will see each other soon. And 1 second, guys. There we go. Bye. And we're still live because